The other day I was on my front patio outside, and my little neighbor came over, Clementine. She's 10 years old now, taller than I am. And we got to talking about the carousel horse that I have on the patio. It's one of those horses that are brightly colored, that have a hole through them with a disc on the bottom. And when she was 4 or 5, I'd have to lift her up to sit on the horse. And I would tell her stories about the fairies and about where the horse had gone and why the horse was stuck on a pole in my side yard. And she said something to me. It wasn't just the stories about the horse that I told her and her sister. It was the fairies and how they populate the world. And she said to me, she said, she's 10 years old now, and her toes are touching the ground on the sides of the horse. She says, Brooks, I think probably you came over and sprinkled glitter around the fairy houses that we built. I think you may have done that, but you would never change the color on this horse's eyes. And with that, she hopped down and went home. And I got to thinking, and I felt the sadness of how, as kids, we outgrew our dreams. You know, Santa Claus became our parents. And the fairies didn't exist anymore because the neighbor is the one that sprinkled the glitter. And I go back to my own dreams of when I first married. And I married a very stable West Texas meat and potatoes kind of guy. I needed the stability, and somehow in these numbers of years that we've been married, and come August it will be 50 years. 50 years. Mm-hmm. I somehow changed that dream, and I began to think that I deserved someone who would grow old with me in all of the different levels and all of the different imaginary ways and all of the different traveling and exploring ways that I am capable of, that I do. And that is not what I got. I got a meat and potatoes Midland man who seems to be growing smaller and smaller, literally and imaginatively and physically. The man has completely different political ideas than I do. And I have had to, over the last weeks, months, and years, drop that dream of having somebody that will travel with me and wants to explore. Physically, he's no longer able to. And let that dream go. And so what I'm faced with, and I think all of us are, that as we age, is the releasing of those old dreams and those old imaginations into what is. And where I am today with this man that I am committed to growing old with is, how do I expand inside of me enough to be kind to somebody that's so frustrating in his slowness and awkwardness and narrow-mindedness? How can I be kind to this man who probably doesn't have more than another year or two at the most to live? How do I find that in myself to accept and become real with? I'm not sure how I can do that. I know that I am wanting to do that, and it really is all that it takes. How do I find that in myself? And there will be numbers of women and numbers of stories and numbers of therapy sessions and numbers of AA and Al-Anon meetings that I go to find my way into this piece of what life is about today for me, not exploring the Louvre with this man. So today, what I do is I go to HEB and I buy several bottles of 99-cent nail polish, yellows and turquoises and fuchsias, and I go and paint that horse's eyes. Again,